Tyson Fury continues to talk confidently about his rematch with Deontay Wilder, saying that he's going to knock Wilder out. So I'm going to quote the Gypsy King directly. He said he was going to knock me out last time and he didn't. Why do you think I employed Sugar Hill Stewart? Is it to improve my slick boxing moves and style? I don't think so. It's to look for that big right hand, Tommy Hearns style. Pow! That's what we're looking for. Knockout or go home. If I don't knock Wilder out, it doesn't count. He goes on to say, I'm really eliminating all of the outside distractions this time. I eat, sleep, train, and repeat. I'm eating 5 to 6 meals a day. I'm drinking many liters of water a day. I don't really do anything else. I don't go out. I don't see people. I don't speak to anyone on the phone. I don't do emails. I don't search Google. This is the first training camp in 10 years that I haven't had a Diet Coke. This is the first training camp where I'm literally going to bed early every night at 9:30 p.m. I wake up early morning at 7 a.m. fresh as a daisy. I literally live in training camp like a Spartan and Trojan warrior. And that's it. I don't really know if any of that matters on the night. It didn't matter before, but if it's willing to give me an edge on the night of the fight, then I'm willing to try it. Why not? What will happen on February 22nd is all in the hands of the gods. So those are the words of Tyson Fury. Now, the first thing I pick up on there is kind of a nod to his namesake, Mike Tyson. When Mike Tyson rematched Razor Ruddock, he famously said, if Ruddock doesn't die, it doesn't count. So he went into the rematch saying that he was going to kill Razor Ruddock, catch a body. If he doesn't die, it doesn't count. Now, obviously, Tyson Fury didn't say die, but he said if I don't knock him out, it doesn't count. So he dialed it back a little bit from what Mike Tyson said and said if I don't knock him out, it doesn't count. Now, as far as all the changes he's making in training camp, sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sometimes when a fighter has a particular mental makeup, if you put them into a very strict regime, it can actually have a detrimental effect on the fighter. Yeah. When you've got one of these free-spirited fighters, if you restrict them too much, it can have a negative effect. With that being said, Tyson Fury had a more strict regime when he was under the tutelage of his uncle Peter. There wasn't so many fun and games in training camp and all them kind of things there when he was with Peter Fury. Peter Fury, a far more serious character. He didn't like nonsense. And that actually brought the best out of Tyson Fury. So perhaps now with Sugar Hill Stewart, similar kind of situation. Although I don't think Sugar Hill Stewart has the authority over Tyson that Peter Fury had. And that's assuming Tyson Fury needs that kind of authority over him at the moment. Tyson Fury has obviously matured to some extent over the past few years. Perhaps he can discipline himself rather than needing somebody to keep him in check like he perhaps used to years ago. So I'm interested to see what these changes that Tyson Fury has made in his camp are going to have. He talked about eating more. He's eating however many times a day now, 6 meals a day. He's drinking all this water and doing all this kind of stuff. Does he need to? I am a little concerned about Tyson Fury's weight. I don't think he's going to come in, overly fat or anything like that. Perhaps he's putting on too much muscle. And he's not going to come in looking like a bodybuilder. But for me, the key to him beating Deontay Wilder is mobility, speed. When he fought Vladimir Klitschko, he was 247 pounds. That's one of the lightest weights of his whole career. And he was able to move around the ring and use his height and reach and awkwardness, and Vladimir could barely land a punch on him. Because of the fact that you had movement, foot speed and movement combined with long reach, throwing jabs and awkward shots at long range and being elusive. Vlad just couldn't deal with it. Deontay Wilder, similarly, struggles with a tall guy, reach and movement, who doesn't want to be hit, who's just making it awkward. I mean, Deontay Wilder struggles with movement against smaller opponents. We saw that in the Artur Szpilka fight. So if Tyson Fury is serious about trying to knock Deontay Wilder out, bulking up, putting on more muscle potentially, trying to impose himself on Wilder more physically, I think it's a big mistake. With boxing, a lot of it comes down to perception. Tyson Fury's perception, at least as far as we can tell, is that he was robbed in the first fight. Tyson Fury's perception, as far as he makes out publicly, is that he can't win a decision in the second fight. If that is genuinely what he thinks, then he may genuinely go out there and try to get a knockout, and he'll probably get knocked out himself in the process. So, very, very intriguing fight. Interesting to see the tactics that both guys employ. Now, some people have pointed out, rightly so, that Tyson Fury said he was going to go out and knock Klitschko out in a couple rounds, but he actually went out there to box. So with Tyson Fury, there's always an air and an element of misdirection in whatever he's doing. And if he's as smart as I think he is, that's what he'll do this time as well. Try to throw Deontay Wilder off, make him unsure about what Tyson Fury is going to do, and essentially just try and get under Deontay Wilder's skin, wind him up. Because that actually worked, I think, to some degree last time. Tyson Fury took the play away from Deontay Wilder, both in the lead up to the fight and during the fight. Wilder was wound up. Fury's showboating and all that kind of stuff. You could see the frustration in Deontay Wilder's face, not just with the fact that he couldn't land his big shots for most of that fight, but also with the fact that Fury was showboating and the crowd were loving it. And you could see Wilder kind of like, just angry at what Fury was doing. But that helped Fury win a lot of the rounds, because for most of that fight, the rounds were nip and tuck. There was, barely a punch or two between them to split him in most rounds. But Fury's body language, his showboating, his doing a little bit extra in the final moments of a round, was winning him and nicking him a lot of the rounds. That's how fine a margin there is between victory and defeat at this level in boxing. That a bit of showboating and just looking more confident after you've done your work, after you've thrown your shots, could win you a round in a close one. So, yeah, going to be very interesting to see how this fight goes. The tactics, especially Tyson Fury's tactics, but even Deontay Wilder, he now thinks he's some kind of boxing genius who can just wait a whole fight and land one punch. And there's a lot of casuals out there, people who don't know anything about boxing, and they think Deontay Wilder can just do this perpetually throughout his career. He can just wait, land one punch and win every fight the same way. Fury's the only guy who he might have to do a little bit more work against, but everybody else, he can just replicate the tactics he used against Luis Ortiz in the rematch, Again, when did you start watching boxing? Last week? Every big punching heavyweight, other than Rocky Marciano, who's been heavyweight champion, they have come up against an opponent who their power is not enough to defeat. George Foreman came up against Muhammad Ali. Later on, he came up against Jimmy Young. Mike Tyson came up against Buster Douglas. Later on, he came up against Evander Holyfield. And of course, there were people Mike Tyson went the distance with. He went the distance with Bone Crusher Smith. Bone Crusher Smith got knocked out by Razor Ruddock. Got stopped by several people. Well, Mike Tyson couldn't knock him out, went the distance. Been many, many punches over the years, big punching heavyweights. They come up against an individual who has the ability either to stay away from their power, to neutralize their power, or can take their punches. Vladimir Klitschko, tremendous puncher. Tyson Fury had been dropped by Nevin Pikage and Steve Cunningham. Neither one of those guys could hit anywhere near as hard as Klitschko. But yet, Tyson Fury schooled Vladimir Klitschko. He didn't let Klitschko get them big punches on him. See, boxing is far more complex than a lot of casuals realize it is. It's not about who's got the big punch. All these big heavyweights, Wilder, Fury, let me say Wilder, AJ, Dylan White, they've all got the power to knock each other out if they land properly on the chin. You think if Deontay Wilder took the left hook on his chin that Derek Chisora took, that knocked out Derek Chisora in the 11th round of the Dylan White rematch, you think if Wilder took that punch, nothing's going to happen? Wilder's going to be in all kinds of trouble if he gets hit that clean by a Dylan White left hook. Same way, if Wilder hits Dylan White with a shot he knocked Ortiz out with, Dylan White's in all kinds of trouble. If AJ hits Wilder with the right hand he hit Charles Martin with, Wilder's in all kinds of trouble. If he hits Wilder with the uppercut he hit Klitschko with, Wilder's in all kinds of trouble. This is what the casuals need to understand. All these big heavyweights can hurt each other. You can all knock each other out if they catch each other right. It's a lot deeper than who hits the hardest. It's about who can get in position to land their punch. Yeah, that's what you need to understand. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this particular fight. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Let's hammer them out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.